Have you been thinking about city living in South Florida and you're not sure what city is right for you? Well, in this video, I'm going to tell you all about living in my favorite South Florida city, and that is West Palm Beach. I've lived in and around West Palm for over 30 years, and I'm going to tell you all about the ins and outs of living in this laid back but sophisticated downtown. So stand by. So I'm using my backdrop of one of my favorite spots in West Palm Beach to tempt you. And so now I'm going to show you a map of West Palm. So the downtown area spans from along the waterfront to the east at Flagler Drive on the Intercoastal, and then south to what we refer to as the Middle Bridge, which takes you over to Palm Beach. And this is Okeechobee Boulevard, which also takes you west all the way past downtown to I-95 and the airport. And then to the north, I would say the north boundary is the North Bridge over to Palm Beach, and the street is also called Quadrille. And then to the west, I'd say like Clear Lake, you can see here just west of the Kravis Center. That's where City Place and the Brightline and Tri-Rail stations are all in that area. So that kind of gives you a feel for what we call downtown West Palm. So what I love about West Palm Beach is it's really an older city. I think it was incorporated back in the 1890s or something, but it is the county seat for Palm Beach County, and it's very centrally located in the middle of the county. So even if you're not living in downtown, it's easy access from as far north as Jupiter. The airport is just southwest of the downtown area. So if you're living in downtown, it's a quick 10-15 minute drive to the airport, which is very civilized. So what I love about the city is that it's an established city, which is kind of uncommon in South Florida because South Florida is more newly developed than probably most places in the country. But the city of West Palm Beach has actually been around a long time. It's the county seat for Palm Beach County. So what I like about it is that it has history and it has generations of families that have lived here. And so it has a wide circle of people that love the city. So it's one of the things I like about it, is that it's an established city. But the other thing I like about it, which I love about it, is that it's a waterfront city, which there's a lot of water around most cities in South Florida. But what's unique about West Palm Beach is that the Intracoastal, which is Lake Worth in this region, which means that it's not just like the ditch in Fort Lauderdale, that's the Intracoastal, just a wide canal, but it was a natural lake called Lake Worth. And so it's very wide, the Intracoastal is, and pretty much the length of the city of West Palm from the south boundary to the north boundary, probably 2/3 of that is open waterfront, either that you can see from Flagler Drive or that you can run or walk. So it's really conducive to enjoying the expanse of water. And if you're a boater, you can enjoy it for that as well. And when it comes to downtown, the whole length of the downtown area fronts the Intercoastal on Flagler Drive. So it's really beautiful, beautiful waterfront city. And the other thing that makes it unique is that it's a pretty laid back city, but of late with corporations that have moved here, that's called the Wall Street of the South now. And with the influence of Palm Beach, the town of Palm Beach, which is on the island of Palm Beach, right on the other side of the Intercoastal, the city of West Palm has all the influence of the wealth of the people that are from Palm Beach and the style and the caliber of food and arts. And there's just a really diverse amount of activities and things that you're interested in that you can find both in West Palm and in Palm Beach. So I really appreciate the value that the influence of Palm Beach has had on the city of West Palm. So next, I'm going to go through 3 or 4 different areas of West Palm so that you can get your bearings and see what it would be like to live in West Palm Beach, Florida. I guess I'll start with really like the heart of downtown, which is at the waterfront. And I'm going to show you this map. You can see here Flagler Drive and Clematis, where they meet, is a very large park that used to have the public library there years ago, and they moved it back into downtown and they opened up this huge space here called Centennial Park, which is right at the meeting of Clematis and Flagler Drive. And it looks, as you can see from this view, it just looks out onto the waterfront and over to Palm Beach. And this is really the heart of where everything happens. You know, West Palm is really a seasonal city. So most of the goings on start happening in about October through, say, April, May. So beginning in October is the start of the Saturday morning farmers market, the Green Market. It's been ranked the #1 farmers market in the country for 3 years in a row. And it's really a fantastic event with local produce, local meats and cheeses, seafood, and then just lots of food and music. And it's really a great experience. And that flows onto Clematis Street toward the west with vendors for several blocks beyond Centennial Park. So that goes on all season long from October through April, every Saturday from 9 to 1. So that's something that if you're living downtown, I mean, I go there almost every Saturday and I live about 15 minutes away, but it's really a great experience. The parking's very easy. And if you live downtown, you can just walk down, get your coffee, get your breakfast, and get the foods you need for the weekend. So it really is perfect. So the Green Market is that season-long event every Saturday. And then the other things that go on right here at Centennial Park throughout the season, there is the Susan J. Komen Walk. There's the Palm Beach Marathon. There's the Palm Beach Boat Show. We have a 3-day music festival called Sunfest, and that takes place here. And then throughout the season, and even during the summer months, there is an amphitheater that's just to the south and adjacent to Centennial Park called the Meyer Amphitheater. And they have events going on there all year long, plays, music, festivals. So it's really an active area most of the year, a little bit quieter in the summer, but throughout the year, most of the city activities go on in this area of Centennial Park. And then surrounding this area is just a lot of fantastic restaurants. You'll see here Elisabetta's, this really popular Italian restaurant with a great view of the waterfront. And then just behind that is the Ben Hotel, and that has a rooftop dining and a pool on the rooftop. You can see that here. And one of my favorite French restaurants is right here along Clematis, right along Centennial Park, Pistache. And then on the other side of Centennial Park, on the south side, is every kid's favorite Sloan's ice cream shop. And it's filled with, you know, just all kinds of candy. It's like a Willy Wonka kind of candy shop. And coming downtown, you never miss that. And then just to the east of the Sloan's is Bradley's, which has been on the waterfront for probably 25 years. And before that, it was in Palm Beach, just over the North Bridge. A lot of people remember Bradley's started there. That's owned and operated by the Coniglio family, who have been in Palm Beach. The Mrs. Coniglio was the mayor of Palm Beach at one time, and her husband owned a lot of restaurants and was a very successful entrepreneur in Palm Beach. So that's Bradley's, always dependable, good food. And then just as you work your way down Clematis, there's just tons of restaurants all the way west until you get to Rosemary. And then that's where we'll talk about the next district, which is the City Place district. So before I go on to the next district, I wanted to just kind of do the pluses and minuses of living in this general vicinity of Centennial Park, because it is really super convenient to so many restaurants, the waterfront. You can pretty much walk everywhere you go, or take an Uber or ride your bike. You can exercise along the waterway. You can go across both the north and the middle bridge to Palm Beach and go to the Publix grocery store is just there at the North Bridge, just into Palm Beach. There's a beautiful lake trail all along the Intracoastal in Palm Beach. And you can ride your bike and walk there. There's the Royal Poinciana Plaza just over the North Bridge with wonderful shopping, luxury shopping and restaurants. And of course, the Breakers Hotel is in between the two bridges. And then if you go over the middle bridge, you have the beach and you have all of the shopping and wonderful restaurants and the great atmosphere of Worth Avenue right there at the beach. So those are a lot of pluses. But I guess the downside would be that because there's so many activities going on throughout the season, which is the most popular time, our population practically doubles during the season. It can get a little noisy and it can get difficult to come and go, not consistently every day, but with these events going on pretty regularly. If you're living in a luxury apartment that you're renting, leasing, or in a condominium there in that vicinity, it could be really inconvenient for you and maybe a little too noisy for you too. So look at these two maps. I'm going to show you first a map of the condos that are in the area. This first map is kind of general. It doesn't have the names of the buildings, but you can see all the red. Each of the red is a building, and there's even more going in. In fact, you can take a look at a video that I did on the luxury condos that are getting built downtown. So you've got these condos, and if you look and see where Clematis is, you really probably don't want to live too close to that if you're noise sensitive. And then also show you a map with these diamonds, these green diamonds. These are all the luxury apartments and condos that are for lease in the area. So that gives you a good idea. It's pretty spread out, and there are other choices besides living right there in that Centennial Park area and still having the convenience of being able to walk to the Green Market and get around more easily. So before we continue, I wanted to just take a minute and introduce myself. My name is Diane Wimbrow, and I am a local realtor here in northern Palm Beach County and a lifelong South Floridian. And I get calls and texts from people all the time who want to move to South Florida, but they're trying to figure out the right place for them to live. And I just love getting these calls and helping people understand the South Florida area and find the perfect spot for themselves. So feel free to give me a call at the number below or text me and we can set up a Zoom call, but I'd love to talk to you and help you figure out the right place for you. So let's continue. Okay, so now I'm going to show you this map. So we were here at Clematis by the waterway and Centennial Park. And I'm calling this another district, but what's really neat about this is that there's a shopping area that was built back in the 80s, early 90s called City Place. And it's a little bit more to the southwest of this waterfront downtown area. And what's really great about it is that City Place has evolved. It turned into Rosemary Square, and then it was the square, and now it's back to City Place again. And what's happening there is luxury apartments are being built and Class A office space, and it's really becoming its own little district of the city and has really come a long way. So the interesting thing is that because it's a growing city, it used to be difficult to get from, say, the Clematis area on the waterfront to City Place because it was very undeveloped in between. And now it's really come together. And so it's really nice because you can actually walk or ride your bike or catch a ride, because they actually have these little, they have a trolley, and then they have these other electric open air vehicles that take people back and forth from City Place to the waterfront. But if you were just going by foot, I'm showing you this map, you could just walk straight west along Clematis and you'll cross over the main north-south arteries, which have the traffic on them. You know, kind of, they're not highways, they're just through streets. So you have Olive is the first street that you'll pass, and then you cross over Dixie, which is also US 1, and then Quadrille, and then you get to Rosemary. And if you head south on Rosemary, that whole stretch from Clematis down to City Place, as you can see here on Rosemary Avenue, there are condos that have been built, luxury, kind of not super high end, but reasonably priced, high quality condos and apartments. And now there are all these restaurants that have popped up along here. Like you can see, Adriana's Pizzeria is a super popular one. There's Harry's. There's all these, there's just a lot of restaurants. And there's also a Publix right along here. So there's your grocery store in addition to the grocery store that's over in Palm Beach. So this is another area. Once you get to City Place, you can see these videos that I've taken. It's a low profile. The primary part of it is like 2 and 3 stories, and then they're building these towers around it that are, like I said, luxury leased apartments and also a grade office space. So this is becoming its own little ecosystem here, And then if you look at the south end of City Place along, this is this Lakeview Avenue, that's also Okeechobee Boulevard. So if you take that west, that will take you out to I-95. It will also take you to the airport, which is just a couple exits south on 95. And also in the same area, just a little bit east, is the Brightline train station, which is a high-speed rail that goes to Fort Lauderdale and Miami to the south and Orlando to the north. So a lot of people are taking that, and it's really high caliber, high speed rail. And then on top of that, there's also the Tri-Rail station, which is kind of the local train. And that starts in Riviera Beach, just north of West Palm, and runs all the way to Miami. So that stops all along the way. And a lot of people use that too to go to the Fort Lauderdale airport or just to make quick moves around the county. So now I'm going to show you this map, and we're going to kind of zoom in, but you can see up here City Place, and you can see RH Rooftop. That's Restoration Hardware, has a beautiful store. It's like 4 stories of store in the middle of median of Okeechobee, just south of City Place, and it has a beautiful restaurant on the top floor, and that looks west, and you get sunset views if you go there for dinner. And just to give you some context, like if you're here in City Place or you live anywhere in this general vicinity, and there are some luxury condos going up. As I said, I did a video on 5 of the top new luxury condos going in, so you could look at that and learn more about that. But you can see the Dreyfus School of the Arts. That's a nationally ranked magnet school, and that's kind of right here. It's a historic, it was used to be the Palm Beach High School, and it's right here in the midst of all this at City Place. And then just below the Dreyfus School of the Arts is the Kravis Center for the Performing Arts, and they have, you know, Broadway quality shows there all throughout the season. And then just north of the Dreyfus School of the Arts, it's just been announced that Vanderbilt University is going to open a business school campus that will be kind of in between Datura and Fern Streets, just above the Dreyfus School. So that's going to bring a whole new mix and solidification of that area up there. So it's really coming together with all the right components. So I'm going to tell you just a little bit more. So if you come in east from City Place, and you can see here US 1 and Olive at Okeechobee, and when you come south down US 1, you'll see the Norton Museum of Art is right there in the same area. And then this whole length of US 1 down to like Belvedere Road is all considered the Arts and Antique District. So there's all kinds of shops, antique stores, really high quality antiques. A lot of it's like Decorators Row. And there's restaurants all along here. And these are also where the historic neighborhoods are that I featured in another video that I did, which you can take a look at that. And so it's really coming together. And then if you look just west of the Kravis Center and south, you'll see the street Parker. And as you come down Parker, you can see over to the right is the Palm Beach County Convention Center, which has been evolving. And now there is a hotel there, a really nice Hilton, as well as another hotel going in. And as you come down to the left here, to the left of Parker, this whole area is called Grandview Heights, and the Grandview Market is in there. There's some different, there's gyms and art districts, and it's very interesting and has really come together. So you can really go from this Clear Lake area all the way to the Intracoastal, and there are just really interesting neighborhoods, lots of restaurants, lots of arts activities, just a lot going on. So I hope you found this helpful, and let me know your thoughts or comments in the comment section below. And don't forget to like and subscribe so that you won't miss any future episodes. And if you thought about living in West Palm is the right place for you, but maybe you would rather be in a single family home instead of a luxury condo, check out my video on the top 5 neighborhoods in West Palm Beach.